Okay, so this is Mr. Stolen, and we're going to look on nature of roots. Nature of roots. So I believe you guys you understand that what you call what we mean by roots. Okay, so we're going to deal with trinomials again. So like a x squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Okay, and remember what I said earlier. Um, when when you are solving quadratic equations, okay, using quadratic formula, the quadratic formula is minus b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And remember, the a is the coefficient of x squared, b is the coefficient of x, and c is the one that is coefficient of x to the power 0, which is just 1. Okay, so it's independent there, and it's just sitting there. So that's what you must know then. So in whatever equation that you're given, first you must be able to identify a, b, and c so that you can work out. Okay. But now let's look here into this what you call into this equation here, into this formula here. As you can see inside the bracket here, it's b squared minus 4ac. So this here, what we have inside the bracket here is the one that actually have an influence on our answer, on the root that we're going to find, the root that we're going to find. So we can tell the nature of the roots by just looking at what is it that we're going to find at what called the nature of what called b squared minus 4ac. So what I'm trying to say here, if let's say you find what is it? You find 0 here. Okay, if you've got a 0 here, it means that this plus minus thing it won't work here. So it means that you're going to have only one root. So the root, those two roots are going to be equal. And you need to understand something here. When you have an equation like this, it's a trinomial and it's a quadratic equation. Quadratic equation. So quadratic equation, it has to pass, it cuts the x-axis twice. Okay, so the what you call roots are these values here, where it cross the x-axis. So these are called the roots. So if your graph is like this, it means that it does have roots. Okay, it does have roots, it does touch the x-axis. But now let's see what we're going to do here. If you've got a negative b squared minus 4ac, or if you have a negative inside the root sign, it means that you can't find you, because let me show you something here. Um, okay, so here root of negative 1 is error. Okay, it's error. It's an error. You can't get what called you can't get that. Okay, so anything with negative, we know that it won't have a root, and in that case, we know that it won't be touching the x-axis. So let's get to see the nature of the root. So we can be able to tell whether the equation have got roots or doesn't have roots just by looking at b squared minus 4ac, because that's what matters, and that's the one that is inside what called a square root, and the square root is limited to only positive values. Okay, so if it does have negative, it won't work. All right, now let's see here. So nature of the roots, nature roots. So we're going to say if b squared minus 4ac, okay, is less than 0, so meaning it's a negative. So if b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, it means that the no real roots, no real roots, roots are non-real. Roots are non-real. So they don't exist. Roots are non-real in this case. So if b squared minus 4ac is a negative, you know that there is no what called the roots are not real. Okay. Then in this case here, it means that your graph it seems like this one. maybe it's up, going up like that. So it means that it will never cut the x-axis, or it might be down here. It means that it will never cut the x-axis because it's already continuing down there and continues goes up there. That's what it means. Okay. Then what if b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0? So if b squared minus 4ac equal to 0, the roots are equal. So the roots are real and equal. So the roots in this case will be real and equal if we get a 0, because remember what I said here, if you get a 0 here, it means that you're not going, it's not going to change the value here. For the plus minus won't solve anything, because there will be a 0 here. Okay, so you will have a same, what you call the same value. So the roots will be equal, and in this case here, your graph maybe will be looking like this. So you will be sitting, your graph will have a turning point on the x-axis, just like that. That's what it means there. So if ever you find two values, what is it? What you call two values? What you call equal roots? Okay, it means that your graph is turning at that point. Okay, then it can also be turning down there. It depending on the nature of what. Sorry, on the sign of a there. We're going to do that when we do functions, but now you don't worry about the graphing here. Just what you need to understand here. If you get b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, it means that your roots are real and equal. Now, let's see here. B squared minus 4ac can be also greater than 0. So if b squared minus 4ac greater than 0, the roots are real and so roots are real and different here. Okay. But now understand something here. On those roots again, yes, they are real and different. Now, if the b squared minus 4ac now is a perfect square. What do you mean by perfect square? So roots are rational if b squared minus 4ac is a perfect square. Now, what do you mean by perfect square? The perfect square is what called perfect square is what called the number with a square root. So perfect square is what called a number with a what? Square root. So for example, here we can say what call example of perfect squares, e.g. 1, 4, 4, what else do we have there? We can say, what is it? 16 and 25. These are perfect squares. They have a what called a square root. Okay. And now, if the roots, if b squared minus 4 is not a square, so roots are irrational. If b squared minus 4ac is not a perfect square. Okay, here there is 9 as well here. So if this b squared minus 4ac is not a perfect square, what does this mean? It means that if b squared is equal maybe to 2, okay, is equal to 3, is equal to 5, is equal to 7, is equal to 80, it goes on like that. So it means that your roots will be what you call irrational. So they will be real, different, and irrational. Okay. Now, so let's get to attempt some questions and see what I'm talking about here. Okay. Okay. So that's what we have there, and these are the questions that we can look at. So here we're going to say, all right, what is our a? Our a is equal to 1 because the coefficient of x squared. Our b is equal to negative 6 coefficient of x. Our c is equal to negative 16. Okay. Now that's what we have. And b squared minus 4ac, b squared minus 4ac will be equal to what? Will be equal to b squared is negative 6 squared minus 4 ac, what is it, 1 and negative 16. Okay, now what are we going to get here? We'll get what? Let's see what we get there. Get negative 6 squared minus 4 1 negative 16. Now here, what do you get here? Get 100. Okay, get 100. Now 100, as you can see there, when you check here, 100 is what? 100 does have a root. So here, as you can see, 100. So the roots are real, okay, real, and equal, and rational. So why is it rational? Because here the 100 is a perfect square. So a perfect square, you can have a root of your answer here, root of your answer, you get what? You get 10. So it's a perfect square. Sorry, it's a perfect square. 100 is a perfect square. So your roots are real, unequal, and rational. Okay, now let's get to see the next question. It's x squared minus 2x minus 7 is equal to 0. Now a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 2, c is equal to negative 7. Now b squared minus 4ac is equal to negative 2 squared minus 4, 1, c is negative 7. Then what we get there, going to say negative 2 squared, okay, minus 4, 1, negative 7, and you get what? 32. Okay, now if you see the 32 is what? Here's the answer. If you say root our answer, you get 5 comma, you see this one is not a perfect square, so here not a perfect square. Perfect square, okay, it's not a perfect square. Now what does it mean? Now it means that the roots are real, okay, unequal, okay, and irrational. That's what we have there. So real, unequal, and irrational. So that's what you must look at there. So you must always give, if you answer it, if your if b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, you must check whether it's rational or it's irrational. Okay. Now x squared plus x, so here put a is equals to 1, b is equals to 1, c is equals to 1. Now b squared minus 4ac, b squared minus 4ac is going to be equal to 1 squared minus 4, 1, 1. Then what we get here, we have 1 squared minus 4. So 1 minus 4, we have 1 minus 4. Okay, what do we get? We get a negative 3. So now, if we get negative 3 there, since b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, okay, therefore roots are non-real. Okay, so roots are non-real in this case here. So here you need also to deduce that b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, and also here b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0. Just need to state that. Okay, you need to state that. Forgot to tell you that. Sorry. Now, so that's what we have there. That's what you must understand, and and understand what. So let's just check what called the one with the equal roots. So here is 4x squared plus 16x plus 16. So A is equals to 4, B is equals to 16, C is equals to 16. Okay. Now here we're going to say, all right, B squared minus 4AC is equal to what? Is equal to 16 squared minus 4. A is equal to 4. C is okay. Now let's punch in the calculator then. Squared minus 4. Okay. So there you get equal to 0. So here, since your b squared minus 4 equals to 0, b squared for s is equal to 0. For the roots are equal, are real, sorry, real and equal. So roots are real and equal. That's what you just need to say now. There's nothing more to worry about. Okay, because it's 0, you're getting a 0, and its roots are real and equal. This is a thing that you just need to remember for when you get a 0 as an answer. Okay. So here's a question. Okay, here's a question here saying tx is equals to root 3x minus 5 over x minus 3. Now here, for which values of x will root 3x minus 4 minus 5 over x minus 3 be real? So now you know that whenever you're given anything in this form, okay, where they ask you for which values of k, for which values of x, will that be real? Will that be what you call equal? You don't need to worry. You just need to take what you see in the bracket, because what you see under the root sign. So take whatever you see under the root sign. Whatever you see under the root sign is your b squared minus 4ac. So in this case here, what we have, b squared minus 4ac is equal to 3x minus 5. That's what you need to worry about. You don't need to stress. Now, for the roots to be real, remember, for the roots to be real, b squared minus 4ac needs to be greater than or equal to 0, because even if it's equal to 0, the roots are still real. So we're going to say, all right, what does this mean now? It means that b squared minus 4ac is equal to, for which values of which what value is going to be, b squared minus 4ac must be greater than or equal to 0. Therefore, here we're going to say 3x minus 5 must be greater than or equal to 0. Okay. Now what do? You take 5, that's negative 5 that side. 3x greater than or equal to 5. That's what we have there. Now what do we do now? We divide by 3. We divide by 3 both sides. Okay. So x is going to be equal to greater than or equal to 5 over 3. That's your solution. Okay. That's what you need to master there. Very easy. You just need to take whatever. Don't be confused with whatever how big the expression is. Just worry about what's inside the root sign. That's what you need to take. That's your b squared minus 4ac. Don't worry about anything that may be outside the root sign. Take what's inside the root sign that represent your b squared minus 4ac. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time.